Oh man. I should be sleeping. I'm not. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a fool. I don't know. But I'm up. And while I'm up, I might as well mess with this camera some more and yap about stuff. Could talk about something serious or philosophical and all that, but I think I'm a little bit too scatterbrained at the moment to really come up with anything worth talking about in that tact. You know, anything philosophical, religious, political, whatever. I don't think I'd be able to come up with something coherent. It might be interesting, but it wouldn't be coherent. I don't know if it's coherent anyway when I'm able to talk about this stuff, but that's neither here or there right now. So I might as well talk about something else. And what I feel like talking about right now is, okay, jungle. Let's talk about jungle. No, not the rainforest. Jungle, the music genre. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, some of you guys might be wondering, jungle? What's jungle? Okay, you hear that music that's playing right now? That's been playing, you know, before you saw my face. That's jungle. It's a type of. You see what happens? My brain's blanking out. This is why I couldn't come up with anything serious. It's a type of electronic music. Not electronica. Electronica is not a real music genre. Electronic music. It's a type of DJ-oriented, sample-based music, and it's pretty much like what you're hearing. You know, fast-paced drum beat, really strong bass line. But actually, to be honest, with jungle, that's about the only common denominator. A good drum beat that's generally chopped up and sped up to at least around 135 beats per minute and higher, and a good, strong, heavy bass line for you to, like, you know, just really bob your head to. But that's about it. Jungle tends to be one of those electronic styles that just runs the gamut on what it sounds like. It could be raw and gritty in one track, then kind of introspective and thoughtful the next. You can have one head-banging beat that makes you feel like a badass, and then there could be another beat which is just nice and almost light and very melodic. But the one constant is that bass line and the drums. I love this type of music. Anyone who knows me well knows that there's not a day that goes by that I'm not listening to at least 1 or 2 or 3,000 tracks of this per day. Yes, I listen to other types of music. I love other types of music, but I noticed that jungle tends to be played a lot in my ears. So I thought that for those of you who are interested in this type of music, and I felt that there might be a couple of people who click on my vids and might have noticed some of the weird music I play, and you might have noticed some of the sped up stuff that I play. You know, like, can I hear more of this? Well, I decided that instead of talking to you guys about the history of this type of music and stuff like that, I mean, there are other sites you can go to, and I'll put up a couple of links over there. I'll put up a few links there for you to get started looking that up. But instead, I'm going to talk about what I consider to be some of the more essential tracks to listen to if you're just starting to get into this music, or if you want to get an idea of the history of it and how it's developed, and like what I consider the essence of what jungle is. This is my own opinion, by the way. This is not an official list, and I am sure that there are going to be people out there who disagree with me, like, oh, those tracks are garbage. Or there might be some people like, you forgot this, you forgot that. So I'm just telling you right now, this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just a few tracks that I personally think are essential, because, I mean, they stood the test of time and they're considered classics by many people, so throwing it out there. So here it is. Oh, and before I continue, you might also hear the term drum and bass used a lot for jungle. They're not the same thing. Yeah, back in the beginning, when it was just emerging, the terms drum and bass and jungle were used interchangeably a lot. But these days, they're two distinct genres. Anyone with an ear for this music can tell the difference. I know there are going to be people out there who disagree. I mean, they're out there right now saying that that's garbage, and they'll argue with you on that, and hey, more power to you. But personally, I believe there is a difference. And I might one day put up a video playing two different types, so you guys can tell yourselves the difference. But, let me get on to what I consider to be some of the top ones. And again, this isn't put in any particular order. I'm just naming them off the top of my head. Okay, here's one. DJ Crystal's Warp Drive. This track came out in 1993. You hear that? That's 93. That's kind of advanced for a time for jungle. And this was one of the very first tracks to separate itself from what was considered rave music back then. I mean, really all electronic music is rave music anyway. But there's a particular rave sound that has helped to develop what jungle is. And there became a split between what would now be known as jungle and rave music. And this was one of the first to really split it. Noise is my cat. Basically, I mean, the best way I can describe why I consider this to be an essential thing is not just because it was one of the very first to really differentiate itself, especially with the drums, because back then they didn't chop up the drums and come up with the harsh patterns that you hear in here. And the bass line is dark and all that, but it's just one hell of a beat. It's just very trippy. It's space-like. I mean, the term warp drive fits. This is one major mindfuck of a track. I mean, listen to it. It's just nuts. I was lucky to get my hands on the copy you're listening to now because this only came out in vinyl, and vinyl these days, old vinyl is hard to find. If you can get your hands on this, do it. It's good, as you can tell. Okay, moving on. Origin Unknown, Valley of the Shadows. Anyone who knows jungle knows that this is a classic. It's still played in certain jungle sets, especially old school jungle sets. You will still hear this. There's at least 2 different versions of this as far as I know. The one that's playing right now is the more common one. But it's just nuts. It kind of has a little bit of that trippy sound, but it's also dark. In fact, jungle, when jungle finally got its own name as jungle instead of rave music, it had a dark sound to it. And this is giving you an idea of that dark sound. In fact, the reason why it's called Valley of the Shadows and why you're hearing that sort of 31-second thing and there's a long dark tunnel, it's supposed to describe somebody in an out-of-body experience, or like a that close to death experience. Interesting, huh? But yeah, cool tune. You can get this. Shouldn't be too hard to find on MP3 or something, or CD or whatever to that. Okay, Omni Trio's Renegade Snares. Damn, this is a good track. Just listen to the way the drums roll perfectly in the beginning. This was one of the, this is one of those tracks that if you haven't said, damn, if you hear this, there's something wrong with you. This is one hell of a track. In fact, Omni Trio is one of my favorite jungle DJs of all time because he has a different sound. Everyone else goes with a harsher bass line or darker sound with a lot of Jamaicans yelling in the background and stuff. His tends to be a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more melodic. And even this one, even though it's more representative of the harsher, bang your head type of beat, it still has its own flavor to it. Alright, Remark, R.I.P. If you know jungle, you know Remark, okay? This guy, if it wasn't for him, there would be no Square Pusher. There would be no distinctive jungle sound. The drum tracks, this is the guy who showed people how to chop up a sample. And R.I.P. is probably one of the best examples to show just how good this guy was. He wasn't called the Don of the Amen break for nothing. There's nothing I can say to top all the praise that's been heaped on this classic tune. You're hearing it now, and again, if your head isn't bobbing, or if you're not just like, damn, I don't know what's wrong with it. A lot of people point to Sound Murder. He's considered like, so many of his tunes he made are classics. And a lot of people tend to think Sound Murder is his best track. I think this one is. This one and Meridian. Those two are just nuts. He has a CD out called Sound Murderer. You can find it, pick it up. Hell, the entire CD is filled with essential tracks. You can just simply take that and just disregard my video and you have a lot of essential tracks there. But yeah, I'm running out of time. Got like 1 more minute, so let me just quickly go through some good ones. Johnny Jungles, Johnny 94. I thought Remark was the only one who knew how to chop up a sample at around the year 94, 93. Then I heard this. Proved me wrong. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna end off here. I had a lot of other tracks that I wanted to put on this vid, but I think we're gonna end off on this one. Are you hearing this? This is just, damn. I remember playing this for a few people at work, and one guy point blank told me that he couldn't play this while driving because he'd get caught for speeding. It's something that pumps your blood. And it's just one of those. Yeah, it's an evil sounding track in a sense, and it's just damn good. That yummy kick and snare is just beautiful. Okay, I've run out of time. I really need to get to sleep, but yeah, I just showed you another side of myself, the music that I like, and I hope that, you know, if you have never heard of this before, I hope you found it interesting and it turns you on to something new. And I'll probably continue this at a later date with some other gigs, but right now, we gotta end it here, so, look.